Hi, everybody. Welcome to our JOGO merch sale. Good to have you guys all here. We're talking about building a team in UEFN today, and I'm here with a bunch of wonderful individuals who have created what we like to call JOGO. And so I'm going to do a few introductions, but we're going to start here with Andre. Could you tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how we created this crazy thing called JOGO?
Yeah, sweet. So I'm Andre, aka Typical Gamer Online. I've been streaming and creating content since 2009. Built a following of over 25 million subscribers on YouTube, over 8 billion views, and started JOGO about a year and change ago with Chad and Mark over here. You know, really saw the opportunity and have a lifelong love of games and also creating games, which a lot of people may not know. I started writing some PHP, scripting PHP. For those are sensitive. It's not code. Scripting when I was younger, and then I went to school for it, and it all culmination to UEFN. I got to get in there with the tools, and I made Fortnite, a game in Fortnite, where you're little in a big backyard. It took about 200, 300 hours, but learning the tools was so much fun. So I was super excited to hop on and get things started.
Yeah, a lot of people think he's like hired a team to do that. I watched him build it, and I was like, good luck. And he did, and he killed it. He did so good.
And if you went in there, you would see that it was not.
Yeah, don't open the eyeliner.
I did go in there, and I knew you built it.
Actually, we even had that we want to update the map, but it's so like broken that we can't even update it now. So
it's actually true. He's not lying. That's actually true.
Anyways, I'm Chad Mustard, also known as MustardPlays. I've been in the Fortnite creative scene since it started, and built up a YouTube channel there. And my brothers are in. I see I'm the banana guy. I mean, my brothers helped build Fortnite, and the reason PLE's in the game is because I hate bananas. And my brother was like, we should put a guy in a banana suit in the game because my brother hates bananas. So that's my claim to fame. That's my icon skin. So I wear PLE everywhere now, even though I absolutely hate bananas.
And it really frustrates Andre when we're in like play sessions and fighting.
He hates PLE.
It's just so stupid.
Why do you hate PLE?
His tips just sticking out everywhere. It's disgusting. Makes me sick.
I'm Mark. I've been programming since like days of Half-Life in 1998 when their editor came out and messing around. And my last company that I owned, I was teaching programming and app development, web development, game development. And then I sold that. And right at that time, UEFN came out. And I was like, this is amazing because I was building a game and I didn't want to reinvent the wheel. And I saw the opportunity there. So I started teaching lessons on it, started building my own little games. And then ran into these guys here.
Well, and I was watching his videos being like, this guy, I think he knows what he's talking about.
Definitely does.
And so we called him, and
it was really advanced stuff for the very start of UEFN, like boss fights and stuff. And we're like, we need this guy's brain.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. What is JOGO, and how did you guys start this company? Like, how did it get incepted into what it is right now?
I'm gonna kick this one to Chad.
Yeah. Okay. So, being Fortnite creative for a while, I'm one of the leaders in the YouTube space there, and I was super excited for Creative 2.0 to come out. And Andre's one of the biggest YouTubers in the battle royale space, and I'm like trying to like, how can I grow my channel too? So I reached out to him. We'd never talked before. He'd played one of my maps on his channel before, and I reached out and said, hey, we should stream the launch of UEFN together. I know a ton about the space. I can talk to you about like what's cool and what's not. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And we ended up streaming, and it was like we just knocked it off. Like it was like instant friends right away. And that night he called me and was like, hey, I've been thinking, let's do this. I want to build a studio. I want to really get into this space. What do you think? And I'd had like this whole business plan written out, and I was like, well, what do you think? And he's like, let's go. And then I was seeing Mark doing stuff, and we're like, oh my gosh, we got to get Mark. And and Mark he caught the vision of what we wanted to do. So we have these really big visions of where UEFN is going, and we wanted to be a part of that. And he caught it right away, and we just started making maps together. We were like, oh, should we start hiring people? Or we just said, let's just start building. And we figured out we could work together, and And then last year at Unreal Fest, we started talking with you. We
were in a panel right
He
here.
brought on our first verse engineer, Nathan, who was doing a lot of free work for us because he was just learning. And which thanks, Nathan, for the free work.
That's gonna come back to bite.
Yeah. Well, we pay him now pretty good. We made up for it, but yeah. And then we started just finding awesome people like Jeremy. He's our lead game designer, and since then we've grown. We have 23 full time. And we've got a number of other people that help us, like as contract, that are we like PR. We have like a PR guy and our finance folks and stuff that help us on the side as well. So with all them included, we're about 30 people now, and that's all within less than a year. It's crazy how fast it's grown because we see this space as it's not just Fortnite. Like Verse is some really mind blowing stuff where Epic wants to take that. You saw, if you were listening closely in the keynote yesterday, like this is going to come into Unreal Engine, and these games are going to start communicating with each other, where if we make a map in Fortnite, we can then port it out and like release it on Steam. Like this stuff like that is some mind-blowing stuff. So we're really excited about the space and expanding outside of Fortnite.
He drank the Tim Sweeney Kool-Aid yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And on that note, screw Apple.
Yeah. No. We want to work with Apple.
Oh, we love Apple.
Just work with Epic.
Yeah. We love you, Tim.
So obviously, like this team has grown drastically since last, Unreal Fest. And there's a lot of people out here in the audience that are looking to build their own teams, working and partnering, maybe not to the same level, but still want to do that. And so we wanted to present ourselves as like all of the things that we kind of learned along the way, some maybe things that we wish we wouldn't have done for this presentation. And I think one of the questions that a lot of people would ask is like, what are those challenges in starting a studio, especially focused on UEFN, which is kind of like a volatile space. You never really know where it's going. It's evolving, it's changing, it's moving, what does that look like to avoid those challenges too?
Yeah, I think we all have a unique perspective here. I mean, in terms of marketing and hiring and coding and setting up those structures and those systems. Like you basically are your systems, right? When in terms of a company here. But all those things coming together, everything that we've done and everything we had to go through kind of they've come to this culmination of who we are today and the culture we've created. And it's all with the tenet of we make fun games, right? Which sounds very basic, like who doesn't want to make fun games? But that's truly at the core of everything. We don't want to make something just for, it has to hit this amount of time played so we know we'll get in the algorithm. That's very much secondary. It's got to be fun. If we're not making fun, what are we doing, right? We are long-time, passionate gamers. I love games to the core. We want to make the best stuff possible. So the big challenge is finding the people who share that vision, who want to see UEFN go where we want to see it, where we want to, match Epic's dream and go beyond as well. So that's very much the challenges that we'll deal with, but we've dealt with all the challenges from the start to beginning. So
even like technical challenges, like in the beginning, we built 2 games, and they were doing really well. We wanted to hire more people. So we're looking in the community, like let's find people in the community, but it was just not vibing really well with the systems and the structure and the scalability that we wanted. And so we got in our mind like, oh, this is not working. We need professionals. Like we need to be looking outward. But nobody knows about UEFN, right? I can't go steal someone from Riot Games and be like, hey, you want to go make Fortnite games, right? So we had to build a philosophy of training people on the outside to look inward and say, here's the opportunity. So that's part of our evangelism when we're talking to people is we have to sell people on UEFN to bring them in. And so there's definitely challenges very unique to UEFN and this space that we consciously try to combat and fix and overcome.
Yeah, that first interview with a lot of people was mostly me pitching why you should come work for us. And it was less like, hey, tell me about you. I'm like, let me tell you about how cool this is. And I could see when I'm doing, I've pitched UEFN so many times now to people that I'm like, I can see sometimes the light just turning on. They're like, oh, this sounds fun. And And then sometimes when we're in that interview process, I can see people being like, starting to glaze over, and I'm like, okay, I know right away, like, if this is a good fit or not. Like, are you excited about this or not? And yeah, but there are endless challenges. I know we got some other questions coming up that are, we'll talk a little bit more in depth, but there's a lot of different challenges, and really, and we'll talk about in just a minute, like, should you start hiring people or not? Like, we built 2 or 3 maps before we hired anyone. And I think that was actually a key to our success, was not hiring at the start. And like learning if we could work together. Because if we were annoyed with each other after staying up till midnight building an only up map, then we're probably not going to be able to do this when we have 20 people or whatever. So I think that was a key challenge first, was just learning the 3 of us can work together. And then we can expand out.
Yeah, that's great. And also, it's like kind of, the space is so new. It really feels like a startup in a lot of ways. The personality of a startup really shines well, I think, in this space, where you're wanting to learn, wanting to get excited about, all of the opportunities that will present themselves as it grows. And so I'm curious from you guys, like, what are some of the best parts of creating a studio? What are the benefits of doing so? And why would you tell people that are here today that they're like, yeah, you should do this?
I mean, it's like addicting. Like, it's like a drug. Like, I mean, you
don't do drugs, kids.
No, like
he's not
prescription.
advocating
It's like a
drugs.
prescription drug.
Oh, okay.
But no, you launch something and you feel it, right? It's not a 6-month development cycle. It's not a 6-year development cycle. And you've seen some of those games, right? With the layoffs and stuff, a game people have been working on for 4 years gets canceled because an executive makes a decision, or a company, or a merger. Like, here you get to produce something and see its results and expand on it, and then do something else. UGC is, like, more bite-sized, and you can do big things, but even the big things aren't that big. And so for me, being able to produce quickly, coming from a background where I had to build my own shooting system, I had to build my own running and locomotion systems, even before I could make a game. Now where that's all there, you just focus on the fun. It's, that's what thousands of gameplay programmers, like, throughout the world actually want. They don't want to be so low level. They want to make fun games. They don't know about it yet, but you can come in and just focus on the fun. And as a programmer, technical person, and for our designers, just like, what you see is what you get. It's super fun all the time. It never stops being fun.
I think we've created some cool stuff already, but the stuff that we're working on and the stuff that we have planned for the future, we think will blow people's minds. So just working on that and gathering just an amazing group of individuals together. They're here in the front row here, a lot of them. So, and even talking to you guys in person has been so fantastic. It's really made it all worth it. And through the interview process, you don't know if somebody's going to land 100%, but we've really put together such an amazing group of people who share the same vision and who really want to make the best stuff possible. So that to me is just, it feels magical.
Yeah, I would say that's my answer is similar to that. Because I've had my own business since like 2009, but it's really the business is me. And I've been like, mostly a one-man band for the most of my career. And so starting this was a big change for me. Like, and even my YouTube, like, I probably post like 80% less than I used to, because I'm building something else. I'm not building a YouTube channel anymore. We're building a studio. Yeah. So that's been kind of hard for me, because it's like, oh, my baby. But also there's this new thing that's really exciting, and doing it with coolest people. Like, we've hired the coolest people. Like just being here today, like, because we're all remote, and so like a lot of our team is their first time like meeting them face to face. Like, at least half the team, probably more like 70% of the team is the first time we're meeting face to face. And it has been we have the coolest people, and to be able to build something together with a bunch of people and everyone's excited about it, that to me is really exciting. And instead of just being by myself, being like, I'm excited and I think it's cool, And now I got like 20 people that are like, we think this is cool too. And we're all excited about it. And we're like gearing up to release it or whatever. And so that to me has been a really great source of joy, because I don't get to build anymore because I'm building a team. I'm not building the maps as much, which is, some days I'm like, I just wish I could just get in and build. And Jeremy's like, don't touch it. But it's like, to me, it's been just fun building and getting to know our team and like realizing how cool everyone is and how talented everyone is. So that is one really great part about having a studio versus like being alone.
And it's the authenticity of just everybody on the team. Yeah. If you talk to anybody, you'll know just right off the bat that everyone really cares about it. Everybody's really passionate. So I'll just add that.
Yeah. Yeah. All great things for sure. I think,
shoot, I just answered that.
No, I know. That's what I was saying, is because I think you're reading the slides ahead of time and ruining my next question.
Yes, excellent.
What are the benefits of joining a team versus starting my own? I know for me, when you guys were chatting with me, I had a lot of success, and kind of like what you were saying, you have your own baby, your own thing. And a lot of times I think some people in here can relate. You're like, if I join a team, what does that mean? Like, like splitting costs, all these different stuff. Like, you start to weigh so many different things, stability versus not, like all sorts of stuff. But I'm curious for you guys, like, what are the benefits of, joining a team, finding somebody that kind of fits, or like sticking with starting your own, like building your own team?
Yeah, I would say that there's a lot of stability in joining a team. Which is an interesting thing because UEFN teams haven't been around for a long time. I would say also the greatest things in life and just we've seen in the world have been done in teams, right? Even look at the skyscrapers in this city, right? Like, it's phenomenal. Think about it like 200 years ago. They'd be like, what the heck is that? I mean, we look at the pyramids. And who knows, really, I guess.
Oh, here we go.
There was a lot of people or a lot of aliens. We don't know. I'm just kidding. But great things are done in teams. And finding a group of people that are super passionate, putting them all together, just, it blows your mind at things that they can accomplish. So
I would say, this is a really in-depth thing, because if you can find success on your own, it is awesome. Like, I don't want to minimize that at all. Yeah. I've built some things, my own channel, right? I just felt so accomplished and so like I did this by myself. Or like I had a backrooms map that did really well. I'm like, I did it 100% on my own. Well, with my community, they gave me feedback, but it was me building everything, and I was so proud of that. And like there is some real intrinsic value there. And that's actually one of the things we've struggled sometimes to go hire out of the community, because they're like, you feel that. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, I did this and I can make a living. And sometimes you can become ridiculously wealthy doing that if you have like a real home run. And so it is a struggle. It's kind of a balance of like, should I do this on my own, or if I can go to a team like JOGO where there's some stability. It is a hard debate. But one thing I've seen with the team is you can get really good in one area. Like if you're like, man, I don't want to game design and program and do the sound design and do the marketing and do the thumbnails, et cetera, et cetera. That is like really overwhelming for one person. Mm-hmm. But if you're like, man, I love to program, it's better to be on a team. If you're like, I want to become the best burst programmer, or I love to level design. Mm-hmm. Like on a team, you can become the best level designer and you don't have to worry about building a feature. Or I love marketing and I love marketing games, right? And we've got people that are marketing the game. And so there's a way you can be in what you love to do without having to learn everything else that you don't necessarily love.
Yeah. And you got to know your personality as well too, and how you work and how you operate. I like, for instance, I was working on a demo. I do programming, but I can do a lot of things, from materials to whatever. I just figure stuff out. And we were making a demo, and I was spearheading that, and it was supposed to be me doing it. But then Jeremy saw it and he's like, I want to do that. And then the rest of the team was like, hey, that's not fair. I want to do that. And they completely stole the project from me, and made it way better. But for me, I was like, oh, right. Like I don't have to do all this on my own. And you still get those same good feelings by watching something come together, and better because, of being on a team. But you can also, do things on your own as well too, if that's what your personality, calls for. So, for me, I think personality is a really important factor in, how you want to operate, relinquish some control to get something bigger.
Yeah, I think for us, we're not machines. We all can't be the best at everything. I know sometimes we would like to be, and there's a lot of perfectionists out here, especially in the gaming industry. But in making a team, you can find people who are excellent. They have mega strengths and things that you're weak at. And it's a lot better to find someone who's really good at your weaknesses than to try to build up your weaknesses. That's going to take a long time. And you might just always suck at it, unfortunately. So for me, that's a great thing. And to really make a team to go to our vision, for what we're envisioning for UEFN in the future and for this company, we could not do it solo. Nobody could do this solo. It would be impossible. You need a team of great-minded people. So,
and I know this isn't on the slide, but I think it would be helpful for our audience to know, for you three, like what was the piece of the pie that made sense for you three to come together, right? Like what were you offering that you felt like, yeah, we need this to be whole, to actually create our own team at the starting point, right? Chad, you had mentioned, like we had to work together, make sure that we weren't at each other's throats. But beyond that, like what were you guys looking for in each other to have success in building JOGO?
I can start with this one. So I was taking time off for my last company. I had just run a company for like 5-7 years, and I was like, I'm gonna take a break. I ain't doing nothing. And so I was just making videos, and then this opportunity came. And for me, with who I am and what I wanted to do, if I was going to do something, it needed to be something big, something amazing where I could put my talents, and I was very clear at being like, I'm a programmer, engineer, but I'm also like a builder, entrepreneur, like technical teams, things like that. And that's what they wanted to do as well too. And so for me, that's what made sense versus like if someone had offered, so actually 5 different companies and streamers did offer me jobs to go program their maps. And I said no to all of them because that's not what I wanted to. I wanted to build a team. So that fell in really well for me with these guys.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, Mark's humble. He's a really smart guy, and we needed a really smart guy that wanted to take a hold and had that entrepreneur mindset to want to build that out. Right. And you don't find that with everybody, and that's completely fine. So you need to find people who are a bit, psychotic and
Wait, me?
like Chad.
Wait, which one?
I won't say who. We got some psychos, nice psychos.
We all are.
Yeah, we all are. I mean, you got to be a little bit crazy. You got to be a little crazy to want to go all in on this. So, and then in terms of for me, it's the marketing capabilities and bringing my audience, but also my understanding of the game. Like I played Fortnite since before it was even released. I played every single day for way too long. 4+ hours. And I feel like I have a really good understanding of what the player base enjoys. I also feel like I with us together, we can tailor the vision of where we think it's going to go. And we don't have a crystal ball, of course, but we can make some good guesses from our experience and from what we want to do and how we would like to shape it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think the marketing was the first thing that we're like, oh, this makes sense. We're all YouTubers. We all have different audiences, but I think in the end that matters less because both Mark and I have focused so much in the business. Like our audiences don't bring as much as we thought originally, and it's I think it is. We just had this really good synergy, and just like when we talked about the stuff, we were all getting excited, and we all kind of knew what roles we would take on in this company. And even if we didn't actually say, oh, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, I think we just all kind of knew. And I've gotten way more into business, right? I'm dealing with like health benefits, and I'm like, I'm in interviews all day.
Andre both know that was going to be your job.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't even talk.
That was premeditated.
We didn't talk about it. I just knew. I knew this was going to be my where I was going.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like I was like, I'm willing to do that to build. Like I'm a creative person. I like to build all the time. Like I love building my channel. I love building in Fortnite or whatever. And I'm like, well, now I'm going to build a company. And like to me, that was like, okay, that's where my creative is going to, is like finding the coolest people out there. And like, how can I build that? So when I see people working together, I'm like, that's like playing my map or whatever. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Everyone's talking and riffing off each other. And I think all three of us have seen that in their own space. Like Andre's he's much in the creative stuff plus the marketing side, and Mark's in the weeds of the verse with the verse coders and like creating structures and processes and stuff. Like there's some really, it's been nice because I can't do that. I go to Mark, I'm like, I just know we have this problem. I don't know how to solve it, and he goes and solves it. And then I'm like freaking out. I'm like, we gotta fix this thing with Mark, and Andre's like, don't worry, we got this. And I'm like, okay, good. And I can just focus on what I do. So it is great to find partners that just you gel with, number one.
Yep.
And then two, like they have strengths that I don't even want to build. And so I'm grateful for both. And I think that's why it works.
Yeah, and Chad also is really good about like the numbers, right? Like if you have a YouTube brain, content creator in the space, you actually succeed really well in this because Andre's the same way, where you look at your numbers and how you keep players. And so he's able to go into our data and provide really cool concepts for the rest of the team. So you guys you guys came together, and now, we're kind of getting pretty big. So could you explain like how, as you're building your team, what it looks like to add new team members? What are you looking for in individuals as you're starting to grow and build more and more?
I'll start this one because usually how our interview process goes is Steve, our recruiter, finds these awesome people. He brings them to me first, and then usually Mark will interview them next, and then Andre. And I think there's kind of a calculated reason for that. Is like, for first, I'm looking for culture fits, people that are going to come into the company and fit in with everyone else. I do care like about their skill level, but I'm not looking at that as much. That's more of Mark's going to be looking at that. And so for me, I'm like, okay, they're not going to get to Mark if I don't think they're a culture fit first. So I want people that are going to be, for me, the culture, I always say our culture is kindness. I want people that are like kind to each other. That doesn't mean we don't have disagreements. We have disagreements all the time, but you can disagree with someone kindly, or you can disagree with someone not kindly. And like, so I'm looking for people that are going to be, we're going to be cool to each other and that are fun to talk to. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I'm always trying to like do in the team, is make sure we're feeling good together. And like, so that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, Mark, if you want to speak to yours, then I'll speak to mine.
Yeah. So we also we look at big picture things, for the company and what we need to accomplish, like long term. So like more proactive hires, and then we have like hires where we need things. So one example is we kept having this problem between art and game design and programming, where we knew the design that we wanted and it was communicated, but sometimes like art pieces would come in at wrong sizes, and then we had this issue of actually placing them down, and it wasn't enough. Like it wasn't enough for the game designer to say, make it look good, and it wasn't enough. And then the artists, like their job is just to make the assets. They're not going into the editor and placing it down. And so we discovered we have these like flaws in our art process, but they were hard to detect. We didn't know what was going on at first. And then we did more educational learning, and we realized what we really needed was an art director. And so we started interviewing, and now we have an art director, and it's like fundamentally changed how we do things overnight, because he does these amazing things where he paints the picture of what it should look like, and go in and can communicate the problems between the teams. And there's like these little problems that we have that we then just say, how do we fix this in a scalable way? And then we hire for that as well too. So big picture hires, and like we find the needs as we go along, and then we start hiring for that as well too.
Yeah. So when it comes to me, I'm not really looking to see if somebody's capable or not. Like these guys have already vetted that. That makes sense to me. I'm not even to look like I look more towards. I almost flip it in my head. When I talk to somebody, I want to make sure that we're a good fit for them, because you're always looking from things from your perspective. It's so important to look at how other people are thinking. Like, how is this going to be a great spot for them to grow and learn and flourish? And can we provide enough challenges? And is this going to be a good spot for them to just be the best person they can be? So that's very much what I'm trying to get out of the interview. It can definitely be tough sometimes. I mean, interviews are scary for some people. And then some people are just extremely good at interviews, right? So there's a shocking disparity between the two. So trying to just really gauge, will their time at JOGO benefit them? And in doing that selfishly, it'll benefit us. Because if you're happy at your job, we're going to be happy. If we're happy, you're happy. And it's a great relationship. That's how all relationships are. You got to look at it. I always look at it empathetically from the other person's angle. That's the only way you can do it.
That's great. And so while, we're hiring, I think we've come across, this scale, right, of like AAA talent that Mark was kind of mentioning, and then also tons of people that have just been in the creative space, 1.0ers, and then, all in between, right, like of talent. And so, like, I'm curious from you guys, like, what are the benefits of maybe hiring AAA talent, or what are the benefits of hiring, creative talent?
I'll start. We've seen some good things and bad things from both.
Yeah.
Because we talked a little bit earlier about some of the Fortnite creative problems of people being like, I can do this on my own, and we've all kind of done it on our own for so many years, and now with these better tools, with so many specializations in it, it's hard to do everything, and so it's been really hard for the creative community to switch their brains to be like, I can't do everything. Because before you could do everything with just or not even, it was just with devices and game design. And I could do everything. I cannot program to save my life, right? If someone was like, I'm going to kill you, Chad, if you can program this, I'd be like, just kill me now, right? So there's zero chance. But I've said kill too much in my talks recently.
It's eliminated.
That's right, eliminating.
He's a very violent person. You've seen Peely, right?
Gosh. But on the flip side, we've hired some people from AAA areas that have had a hard time wearing multiple hats.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're in this space now where you have to be willing to do more than just your one thing. And in AAA studios that have thousands of employees, they're used to just their one thing. They're really good at their one thing. And there's someone else who's really good at the one thing that they kick off to. But now in UEFN, you have to kind of do a lot more. You don't have to do everything, but you do have to do a lot more. Mm-hmm. And I would say one thing, kind of the previous question, another answer to that is what we're looking for is people that you have to kind of be a self-starter. You have to be willing to learn new things and try different things that you would never have done before if you were really specialized at your other company. And so it is a struggle sometimes on both ends to find that balance of the Fortnite creative side. You're getting a little bit more specialized. From the AAA side, you're becoming a little less specialized, and we're trying to find that balance in the middle. And so it has been. So there's some benefits to that because you get these really talented people in their one thing, and you get these really good people that are okay at a lot of things, but they're not great at any one thing, and they need to get better at that one thing. So that's kind of the benefits and the challenges there, I think.
And as we're growing as a company, we need people to be able to come in and work effectively and quickly. And so we made the formal decision that we're more or less hiring exclusively AAA talent from outside the industry, and that we would do the work to convince them to come work for us, because one of the differences is when we interview some of these amazing people and they come and work for us, they know how it all works. They know when I say words like agile development and Scrum and cards and tickets and Jira and Confluence, they know all those words. And that's what our processes are. And we also have, Andre has a wealth of experience with game design and Fortnite, and he has a vision, and we have these ideas that trickle down. And what we also found is often from the community, it's more collaborative in a creative sense. And we're a little more hierarchical, where we want to produce a game, and it's definitely we have feedback and we talk and everyone pitches in, but we have a distinct vision. And I feel like there's a little bit of friction sometimes, like the community, because well, we have this idea of what we want, but we're building a company where we have kind of a unified vision, and sometimes it doesn't work really well. Whereas AAA developers and artists, they know their tools, they know their things, they can come in, they can get on board, and we can just keep sprinting. And we've had a lot of success with that. And we also, to Chad's point, we are hiring AAA developers, but who also aren't so confined into this one little thing, like someone who's not afraid to whip open Photoshop to edit a file, and we've seen that where it's like, hey, can you just fix this graphic real quick? Be like, well, let's hand it off to design. It's like, okay. So there's a little bit of, flex that we need in order to just make progress. So,
and we have seen some problems though too, where, folks come from, they can do anything they want. And now in UEFN, you can't do anything you want. And so there is that challenge to open your mind to well, how can I do what I want in a different way that was so easy to do before? And one of the benefits to the creative community is they know the limitations. They've been working with way crazier limitations. I'm telling you guys, if you UEFN builders have it good. The creative community, we've been working with the craziest limitations known to man when it comes to building games. And
hey, Grandpa, let's get back to
all right, kids, but seriously, so that's one of the nice things about the creative communities. You don't have to explain Fortnite. You don't have to explain the player base. You don't have to explain, what people like to play, because they know it. They've been in it. And versus people that come from other companies that they don't necessarily. Fortnite's a very different player base, and if you don't understand the player base, your game's not going to be a success. So that is one of the great benefits to the Fortnite creative community. So there is that balance, and just finding the right people it's a challenge, but it's also really fun.
Yeah, I mean, and breaking that boundary of, again, just understanding. A large part of your interview process is getting people to understand the space. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us who have worked on Fortnite, you tell somebody about it, and they're like, oh, so you made Fortnite? Like, yeah, totally. I'm Tim Sweeney. A lot of people don't understand, and that's okay. So it's a learning process for everybody involved.
Before we start taking questions, my mic is still on here. Before we start taking questions, I did want to just final thoughts or advice that you guys would give to people that are trying to build teams. I know we touched on a lot of things, but what are some maybe things that we might have missed that would be good advice to people, that are trying to build a team or be a part of a team that you would say?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna go. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to fun. At its lowest level, you make something and play it quickly, right? Make something and just get it in people's hands, and you'll know if it's fun or not, and how to improve it. And at the core, that's the best advice, because then that's a team or that's an individual. It doesn't matter. And the cool thing about Fortnite is, I've seen maps just use, the standard assets. People just drag stuff in and they make a fun game, and it does really well. You don't have to have a whole team like we do to go build all these things and do all these things. So this fun is where it starts.
I would say, yeah. And if you do want to go big, think big, have a vision, and really hammer that out. What is your vision? How can you get people on board? And what is it what you really want to do? What is going to make you happy? What's your objective? Really making those clear. And then starting from that point, how many people do you actually need to hire to achieve your goal? Maybe it's not 20 people. Maybe it's 2 people, and you're happy, you're content, So really just objectively, as much as you can, look at your goals and try to understand yourself better.
Yeah, I think that's good. And kind of combining both is, what are you having fun doing solo dev? you might want to try. Like, just find a partner, one partner to build with, and you might find you're having way more fun with 2 people. And then, if you have bigger goals, you got to map it out, right? It was like like if we just wanted to make money, like I think that we would have been fine, just the 3 of us. Like we just been like, no, we're gonna make way more money and have that success. But we're not interested in that. We're interested in a much bigger vision. This is like 5, 10 years out, 15 years out. We want to do these big things. And this is just the start. This is like the launching pad. UEFN's a great launching pad for building a game company right now. Gaming industry is really hard. Like indie devs out there are struggling. Like there's no funding, but like we've got it here in UEFN. And so this is our launching pad, and we've mapped it out. We said, okay, we got the core. Now we got a bigger core of awesome people. And then where does that go in the next 5 years? Well, you guys are gonna have to watch. But it's like we got plans. It's not just about a couple of Fortnite maps.
They're literally kicking us out. Thank you guys. Give it up for these 3.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll be around.
Thank you.